Hello everybody, welcome to another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the brand new album by Emil titled Love Will Fix It. This is I don't know how many albums they got because they've released a bunch of stuff and it's not properly listed on Wikipedia, unless it is, and there's a bit I missed, but it's some album they've released at least. And probably the first bit of new material in a while, considering the last album release was technically a mixtape back in 2019. Unless there was some EPs, but I'm not really looking into that. I'm looking more into the albums. They did a mixtape and it had a bunch of covers. There was stuff like You Should See Me in a Crown, the Billie Eilish cover, which I just disliked entirely. I don't know what that was going for. And that's probably my gateway into this band, so it hasn't been a strong light for Emil, but I'm still intrigued nonetheless to see what this band has to offer, and unfortunately there's not really much that enticed me with this new record. Backstab has kind of sold me on the idea that this is going to be a pretty below average album experience, and that was completely confirmed by The Devil Made Me Do It, which honestly is one of the worst songs I've heard this year. The writing on this one is pretty bad. I don't understand what they were going for. Instrumentally, it's just pretty weak overall, but the main lyric that pulled my interest just honestly, I don't understand what they were going for here. So at the end of the chorus, they go, "The devil made me do it," and then he says, "He has his hold on me. Don't you see? He gave me the candy bars. I'm not the only one to blame." What does that mean? I don't understand why they're going. I don't know what that means. Maybe there's some more depth to it. Maybe candy bars is like code name because it's for something like, I don't know, drugs or something. I don't know. But knowing the band, I feel like they probably just meant like normal candy bars, or in this case, sweets or chocolates, whatever you want to call it. It's it was around that point I just instantly saw the decline in my interest for the album. I wanted to go into this one not knowing what to expect, but then it just didn't really appeal to me. Honestly, the first five tracks are pretty bland. I don't really see any reason to go into them. It wasn't until the Ghosts that You Have Called that I kind of found it to be a bit better. I don't understand. Maybe there's just some of the better material saved for the second half, because I don't mind tracks like Dreams and Debris. I think that one's fine, but the first half just gives you the worst impression that you could have. Levitate is one of the examples. I don't understand what they're going for in that chorus. It just sounds pretty bad, and I just think the writing overall is very iffy. There's moments where I just feel like they know it's the same. Basically, they're just doing the same formula they've done, or the same shtick for a while, and just doing that again. It just feels like they just put in the same thing through for testing, just pumping it out. It just feels like Emil just pumped this one out with not much to it, I'm afraid. I found this one pretty lackluster, and there's almost nothing that would make it worth going into it again. Yes, the second half is better, but that doesn't necessarily mean every track there is bangers. There's not really anything I would call on this album bangers necessarily. There's not really anything terrible other than maybe The Devil Made Me Do It, and I did not enjoy Sick, but minus that, I wouldn't say it's a real bad experience. I just feel like it's an album that doesn't really offer much to the imagination. If I wanted to go in for some of the best tracks, I'd probably go in for 3 songs. If I wanted to go in some of the worst songs, I don't know, I'd probably go for 3 as well. I just think everything else is just painfully boring, that there's just not really anything terrible or good with it either. So I'm just kind of stuck in the position of, it's not a fun album to go through. Probably one of the most boring records I've gone through this year. So that's saying much. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm sorry. If Dreams and Debris, The Ghost That You Have Called, maybe at a push, Oceans of Grief I might take with me, but everything else is just not fun, I'm afraid. Yeah, this is a pretty boring album. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5 though, because while yes it is pretty boring, I feel there is some elements that I guess shouldn't go without notice. Like I said, the songs that I like, I would say are kind of worth going for through this album, and it's just a few blunders as well as just being painfully below average. It's just what I want to call a mediocre album necessarily. probably say it's worse than the Vaccines album, but that's just because the Vaccines album just played a bit too safe for my liking. But there you go, that's it. I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and see you guys in the next video.